Hello, Melanie. It is a great pleasure to speak with you. I'm a big fan of your music, and thank you to Jim Schock, who put us together. We like broadcasting your music on WQED-FM. We're a non-commercial station that broadcasts primarily classical music, but we love the sound of yodeling and the Oesch ensemble, die Dritten, and it's a real treat to have a chance to speak with you for just a moment. Melanie, my first question: you are the lead singer for Oesch's Die Dritten from Switzerland, which performs folk music. What does Oesch's Die Dritten mean? Can you tell me about this ensemble? Who are the members and where does everybody live?
It's a family band, and Die Dritten means the third generation. That was our grandfather who started with playing music, and my father has his own group, and he plays with my grandfather too, and then it was in 1997, my two brothers and me, we wanted to go on stage too, and so they picked up us to some concerts and had a television show also in this year. And yes, it's developed like this, and today it's our job. It's really great and fantastic. At the moment we are 6 persons. 5 are family Oesch, and the 6th person is an accordion player from the inner Schweiz. Last year we had a change there, and since 4 or 5 months we had a new player, but it's really great with him, and he's a very, very funny and sympathetic man, and so it's really funny with him.
Great. I know you sing in Switzerland, in Germany, in Austria, Liechtenstein. Do you perform in other countries where German isn't the main language?
Yes, we do sometimes. Last summer we were in Finland and Estland for 10 days for a little tour, and that was amazing because people were a little bit confused at the moment, but they were so open for all music, and we had there 5 concerts and 1 workshop about yodeling, about all traditional instruments like the Swiss accordion. That was really interesting also to speak with musicians from there.
You are famous for your yodeling. The song Der Kuckuck-Jodel shows your amazing talent. How did you learn to yodel, and how many years have you sung this type of music?
Very long. I started yodeling when I was 5 years old because it was a big fascination when I was a little girl, and it was my father who has taught me in yodeling, and today he is still my teacher.
And yodeling, is part of American folk music as well. Are you familiar with any of our American yodelers, any American folk music, and are there any American folk music singers that you enjoy listening to?
Oh, sometimes we have some email contacts. At the moment it's the Haining family, maybe you know them.
Yes.
It's a family like us, and they perform also a few songs from us, even the Kuckuck-Jodel. She has written me an email about this, and it's really nice to have the conversation. Thank you, email and Facebook. That's very easy.
Sure.
With that, and for us it's interesting that people in America plays our song. That's fantastic.
You mentioned that music making is a family fun thing for you and your family. You and your mother sing songs together. How much of an influence is Mom on your singing?
She's not so wild as me and my 2 brothers. We are the wild ones, and she is the one in the background, and she looks for everything, and she is, in German we would say, die gute Seele. I don't know the word in English.
Well, many people think that folk music is just sung by an older generation and that the audience is entirely older people, but you're quite young yourself. Has the success of Oesch's Die Dritten attracted a younger audience for folk music in Switzerland?
Yes, of course. In Switzerland we have really everyone. We have children, we have families. It depends on how the event is. If we play an open air, there are more younger people than when we play some concerts in a church or like this.
I want to ask you a little bit more about your family. You and your brothers and your parents are from Switzerland. Your mother's name is Anna Marie, and your father's name is Hans Uli, common names in German-speaking Switzerland. But you and your brothers have English names, Melanie, Mike, Kevin, English language names. Is there an English influence on your parents' lives?
Yes, a little bit. It's my father. He's a very big fan from America, and he was there, I think, for 7 times already because of that we have such English language names.
Well, I wanted to ask you a bit about the country of your home, Switzerland. It's a relatively small country in Europe, the same size as our American states of Vermont and New Hampshire. And many people in Switzerland speak more than one language. In the German-speaking part, they speak Swiss German and High German, 2 separate languages. Is it common today for younger people in Switzerland to know a whole variety of languages? You know, Americans are terrible. We only speak English for the most part.
But it's the world language. That's really great.
Well, we all should speak a little bit of language from our homeland. But how is Switzerland doing in having more than one language?
It's really common that younger people speak more than one language. Of course, English and French. Italy also, Spain. Yes, some people even learn Chinese or Russian because we have many tourists from these countries, and it's important that we could speak with them for the career. Also, it's important to speak more than one language.
And sometimes you sing in English. You have a CD titled Yodel Time, which is in English. Is the mixture of languages new in Alpine folk music? Does it help you attract that younger audience?
No, it's not new, but I think it's common more in the Schlager world and not in all folk music. I think it's important also to do this mixture for even the younger people, and in our family it's also a tradition to mix up new elements with traditional elements. I think it's a little bit typical Oesch.
You had classical music vocal training in high school. How has that influenced your singing? Were you thinking about becoming an opera singer?
It was a really, really good experience for me because I could learn some exercises for my voice. I have exercises which I need today also, maybe for a concert when my voice is a little bit raw and I have to start in a few minutes. Then I take some exercises from the high school, and that helps me. It's important to have this basic. I mix them up with the yodeling exercises I have, and so it's my mixture.
Do you play an instrument? What music training have you had?
I play some instruments, but only at home. I play a little bit piano and Swiss accordion, and I would like to play drums. That's my favorite instrument, but it's not really usual in the folk music, so it's a little bit the problem I have.
We like to ask people, what do you have on your iPod? What music do you have? What types of music do you like to listen to? Do you listen to pop music, classical music, jazz? What sort of music do you love?
Almost everything. I like all these colors of music we have all over the world. I'm a big fan from your country music. I'm a big fan from bluegrass, blues, and gospel too. When I'm at home with my brothers or there's some friends, we do always some songs, maybe from the Dixie Chicks, or I don't know, from the Blues Brothers or the Beatles and all these groups. And I like handmade music, not electronic music.
I'm with you all the way. I agree completely. Do you have a chance? I know you have a very busy schedule. Do you ever have an opportunity to attend a classical music concert or get to the opera?
Yes, I was already in the opera 3 times, but at the moment we are very, very busy, and so I have unfortunately no time to go to some concerts.
Any chance that we might see Oesch's Dritten in the USA?
Maybe. We have a lot of requests at the moment, but it's difficult to collect them for a tour, perhaps. And at the moment we are planning some concerts for 2014, and maybe that would be the second turn in the USA. We were there 2001 for some Swiss clubs in LA and San Diego, and for my brothers and me, that was really, really big and good experience too.
Well, I hope we can get you to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania sometime, and I hope we can get you back to the States one way or the other. I wanted to ask you just a little bit more about yodeling, and I know it's very difficult to explain in words, but do you have the opportunity to teach yodeling now to other people? And what would you say is the secret to being a good yodeler? How do you explain the technique of yodeling?
My style of yodeling is not really traditional here in Switzerland, but I say always I'm yodeling even more. I live this, and I think it's maybe the secret that you have to put all your heart in this music, and you have to live this music. Then it touches you, I think.
I think so, certainly. And do you know, how did it begin? How long has there been yodeling? Why do the Swiss yodel? So that the voice can be heard across a long distance? It's a very romantic and atmospheric sound.
Yes, that was the beginning. First of all, for the people who lived on the Alps to collect their animals, for example. And in all this year, it's developed like a traditional singing way. We have lots of clubs, yodeling clubs here in Switzerland. Some are just filled up with men and some are mixed. 10 years we have also a few child yodeling clubs. I think it's really great because we need younger people doing this traditional kind of music, style of singing. And yes, it's a really, really big tradition here in our country.
So it started with the shepherds, perhaps, who were calling their sheep or gathering together, as you say, the animals?
So, yes. Yeah. I think so, yes.
And do you still hear folk music, yodeling? Do you still hear people doing that? You perform it for a living, but if you go into the mountains, if you climb into the Alps, would you hear yodeling today?
Yes, but not very often. I think people are a little bit shy today, so they look for one of these clubs to do that with their friends or their relatives. Maybe we have some really old people who are doing this on the Alps, but I think it's not very often today.
Are you much of a skier yourself? Do you get out there on the mountains and ski?
Yes, I like this, even on the ski lift. That's great.
And do you play the Alphorn at all?
No, I don't play Alphorn.
Someone in the group must play the Alphorn. I see it on the cover of one of your recordings. Who plays the Alphorn?
It was a group from this village where we are playing there, and it's not someone from the family.
I see. So it's not traditionally part of the...
Yes.
Part of the
in our family, everyone is playing Swiss accordion or trumpet or clarinet or is singing, is yodeling, but...
Not the Alphorn.
No. Maybe one day, I don't know.
You know,
maybe the 4th or the 5th generation.
Of course, American tourists expect to hear yodeling, and they expect to hear the Alphorn when they go to Switzerland. And sometimes when American tourists go to restaurants in Lucerne or one of the bigger Swiss cities, they get the tourists up on the stage and get them yodeling, get them into the act. Have you ever seen that done? It's a lot of fun when it happens, I think.
Yes, yes.
Well, yodeling's something very, very special, but only practiced person with a great deal of skill and talent, such as yourself, can do it properly. So we're thrilled to be able to hear it on the recordings, and we will play them on the radio here in Pittsburgh. Do you hear Oesch's Die Dritten on the radio in Switzerland? Does the Swiss National Broadcasting play your recordings from time to time?
It's a difficult thing, I can say. We have radio stations, national stations also, who are playing our music, but in the daily program it's difficult because they say, we need only mainstream, and our music is not mainstream, or they say that it's not mainstream, and we are very, very happy to hear that you are playing our songs. That's really great. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I know everyone wants to play Justin Bieber pop music. You know, they want to play the things that are...
And every station the same song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a shame. In this country, we have a hard time. We're always attempting to pay for everything because the government does not support our non-commercial stations as well as the Swiss government supports the national station. Do you have a chance to listen to the radio very much yourself? I know you're busy performing performing all the time. I don't know if you turn it on when you're in the car driving or listen at home.
Yes, sometimes. In our tour bus, we have also a TV, and sometimes it depends on the way we are driving, but sometimes we have the possibility to hear some TV shows or radio shows, or we get some CDs from people all over the world who have recorded some shows, and then we could listen in our tour bus together. That's fun.
And I wonder if you know, how do the Swiss support their broadcasting? In America, most radio stations are supported by advertising. There's a sale of commercials and advertising. We get a tiny amount of government support for our non-commercial station. Do the Swiss pay a tax, or do you have commercials? How does the business work? Do you know?
We have some national stations, and we have pay a tax for this. That's connected with the TV, and then we have some private stations who are living from sponsors and from people who are interested to have a regional TV or radio station. And I think it's very difficult. For
the government stations, do you have any idea how much an individual Swiss citizen would pay in euros for the Swiss broadcasting? A round number? I don't know. Your parents probably pay the tax. I don't know if you're paying it, but do you know how it's collected and how much it is?
I don't know how much it is because we are paying for the whole house here, and we have 3 flats. I know people, they say that they will cut the cables. Yeah. And they just watch on YouTube or in the internet.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm just hoping that the Oesch Dritten will be heard on the radio all around the world, in America, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in Europe, and in Switzerland. And I hope that I'll have a chance to meet you in person and hear you sing in person. We're very enthusiastic about your music here in Pittsburgh.
I hope too.
Melanie, it's been a great, great pleasure to speak with you. I hope you have a wonderful summer. When is your next performance? Are you going to be back on tour soon? Saturday. Wow.
Yeah, Saturday.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And do you enjoy all the things that we think of as traditional Swiss culture? Do you have a cuckoo clock in your home?
Yes, I have one.
I have one as well, and enjoy it.
I have one. I got this cuckoo clock from, maybe you know, Peter Hinnen.
Oh, yes, I think so.
From him, because he has written this cuckoo yodel, and as we have won this prize with the cuckoo yodel, it was the gift from him to us as a little sign for this prize. And it's a really, really nice clock. I think the most beautiful clock in Switzerland.
Well, the sound of Oesch Dritten is certainly beautiful. The cuckoo yodel and so many other wonderful pieces that you've recorded and sing for us. Vielen, vielen Dank, Melanie. Es freut mich sehr. We hope to see Oesch Dritten soon in the USA, and I want to wish you a wonderful summer. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk about your recordings and your music making. As I say, I hope that we'll have a chance to meet one another sometime soon.
I hope it too. I say thank you and liebe Grüße aus der schönen Schweiz.
Vielen, vielen Dank. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.